Welcome back to Washington, D.C., and welcome back to the largest pro-life gathering in the United States of America, the 45th Annual March for Life. "45 years ago, the Supreme Court of the United States turned its back on the inalienable right to life. But in that moment, our movement began. A movement that continues to win hearts and minds. A movement defined by generosity, compassion, and love. And a movement that 1 year ago tomorrow inaugurated the most pro-life president in American history, President Donald Trump. My friends, life is winning in America because love saves lives. And know as you march for life that your compassion, your persistence, your activism, and your prayers are saving lives. And this pro-life generation should never doubt we are with you. This president stands with you. And he who said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you," is with you as well. And I believe with all of my heart, with your continued dedication and compassion, with pro-life majorities in the Congress, with President Donald Trump in this White House, and with God's help, we will restore the sanctity of life to the center of American law. And so, with a grateful heart, on this 45th Annual March for Life, it is now my high honor and distinct privilege to introduce to you the 45th President of the United States of America, President Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. That's so nice. Sit, please. We have tens of thousands of people watching us right down the road. Tens of thousands. So I congratulate you. And at least we picked a beautiful day. You can't get a more beautiful day. I want to thank our Vice President, Mike Pence, for that wonderful introduction. I also want to thank you and Karen for being true champions for life. Thank you. And thank Karen. Today I'm honored and really proud to be the first president to stand with you here at the White House to address the 45th March for Life. That's very, very special. 45th March for Life. And this is a truly remarkable group. Today, tens of thousands of families, students, and patriots, and really just great citizens gather here in our nation's capital. You come from many backgrounds, many places, but you all come for one beautiful cause: to build a society where life is celebrated, protected, and cherished. The March for Life is a movement born out of love. You love your families, you love your neighbors, you love our nation, and you love every child, born and unborn, because you believe that every life is sacred, that every child is a precious gift from God. We know that life is the greatest miracle of all. We see it in the eyes of every new mother who cradles that wonderful, innocent, and glorious newborn child in her loving arms. I want to thank every person here today and all across our country who works with such big hearts and tireless devotion to make sure that parents have the care and support they need to choose life. Because of you, tens of thousands of Americans have been born and reached their full God-given potential. Because of you. You're living witnesses of this year's March for Life theme, and that theme is Love Saves Lives. As you all know, Roe versus Wade has resulted in some of the most permissive abortion laws anywhere in the world. For example, in the United States, it's one of only 7 countries to allow elective late-term abortions, along with China, North Korea, and others. Right now, in a number of states, the laws allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month. It is wrong. It has to change. Americans are more and more pro-life. You see that all the time. In fact, only 12% of Americans support abortion on demand at any time. Under my administration, we will always defend the very first right in the Declaration of Independence, and that is the right to life. We're really proud of what we're doing, and during my first week in office, I reinstated a policy first put in place by President Ronald Reagan, the Mexico City policy. I strongly supported the House of Representatives' pain-capable bill, which would end painful late-term abortions nationwide. And I call upon the Senate to pass this important law and send it to my desk for signing. On the National Day of Prayer, I signed an executive order to protect religious liberty. Very proud of that. Today, I'm announcing that we have just issued a new proposal to protect conscience rights and religious freedoms of doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals. So important. I have also just reversed the previous administration's policy that restricted states' efforts to direct Medicaid funding away from abortion facilities that violate the law. We are protecting the sanctity of life and the family as the foundation of our society. But this movement can only succeed with the heart and the soul and the prayer of the people. Here with us today is Mary Anna Donadio from Greensboro, North Carolina. Where is Mariana? Hello, come on up here, Mariana. Come. Nice to see you, Barry. Mariana was 17 when she found out she was pregnant. At first, she felt like she had no place to turn. But when she told her parents, they responded with total love, total affection, total support. Great parents? Great? I thought you were going to say that. I had to be careful. Mariana bravely chose life and soon gave birth to her son. She named him Benedict, which means blessing. Mariana was so grateful for her parents' love and support that she felt called to serve those who were not as fortunate as her. She joined with others in her community to start a maternity home to care for homeless women who were pregnant. It's great. They named it Room at the Inn. Today, Mariana and her husband Don are the parents of 6 beautiful children, and her eldest son Benedict and her daughter Maria join us here today. Where are they? Come on over. That's great. Over the last 15 years, Room at the Inn has provided housing, childcare, counseling, education, and job training to more than 400 women. Even more importantly, it has given them hope. It has shown each woman that she is not forgotten, that she is not alone, and she really now has a whole family of people who will help her succeed. That hope is the true gift of this incredible movement that brings us together today. It is the gift of friendship, the gift of mentorship, and the gift of encouragement, love, and support. Those are beautiful words, and those are beautiful gifts. And most importantly of all, it is the gift of life itself. That is why we march. That is why we pray, and that is why we declare that America's future will be filled with goodness, peace, joy, dignity, and life for every child of God. Thank you to the March for Life, special, special people, and we are with you all the way. May God bless you, and may God bless America. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I've always seen that one of the greatest things we can do is to help those who are the weakest in our society. And the most innocent form of life that we have are the unborn. I walked up my second day at Georgetown and saw this table, and I hadn't really heard of the Knights of Columbus before. You know, when I heard this pitch, this notion of this chance to live out a life of service inspired by our faith, I was immediately drawn to it. Today in our society, we've lost the moral foundation that charted our path forward to greatness. The Knights of Columbus bring that faith in a tangible way into society, founded on this message that God is great. Today, we're here to march with thousands of other people for the right to life. The first time I went was my freshman year, and I knew this was a cause that I could really dedicate myself to. First time?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I like it.
Yeah?
It's huge.
It's a big crowd. It's a big crowd. What you doing here today? What brought you?
I've been a Knight for about 6 months, and I'm here today for the pro-life movement.
The Knights have meant so much to me because they've offered me a close-knit community, a brotherhood. It's founded in a common faith, and that brings them to common action. I see it when we march in unity today, that we're marching together because the bonds are so deep and so strong.
Anyone out here today can feel the joy in this crowd. Anyone watching on TV can see it. People come from all over the country. You march with your churches, you march with your friends, your neighbors. You are marching with joy and hope, not with anger and hate.
I see the Knights of Columbus marching arm in arm for a cause. I can see right now the future of our movement, and it is bright. You relentlessly fight for truth, you will always win in the end.
Within the span of 7 days, there were 2 marches in Washington, the Women's March and the March for Life. The Women's March was a display of vulgarity, obscenity, and just downright meanness.
But just a lot of people were kind of being physical. We have a pregnant woman with us, and she was pushed. And people are, yelling in our faces and giving us the middle finger. So the marshals kind of had to come out and protect us.
The March for Life is peaceful, prayerful, and respectful. But don't take my word for it. We're going to make a comparison to see what people thought, what they said, and how they reacted. When does human life begin?
I think. Do you know the answer to that scientifically?
No.
I don't know the answer to that.
I believe that it begins at some point when the fetus can live viably outside the womb.
When would you say life begins?
I don't think it is about determining when life begins. I think it's just a very personal, painful choice that, every woman has to make, and I don't think a government should make it. I don't think another individual should make it.
Catholics would say that a life begins at conception, right? But I think a life begins when someone's able to take care of it in the world.
Okay, when does life begin?
Conception. Conception, no exception.
Conception.
When does life begin?
At conception.
In the womb.
Life begins at conception.
At conception.
At conception.
At conception.
Do you believe in God?
I surely do.
What is the 5th commandment?
Thou shalt not kill.
What does abortion do?
I believe abortion kills, but I also, again, my faith canon is not the same as other people.
Can you tell me what the 5th commandment is?
Wait, go, quick. Well, let's see, love your mother, honor your father.
You did mention that you were Catholic. You're Catholic?
Born and raised, baby, born and raised.
Are you a faithful Catholic?
I am so not.
You were raised Catholic?
I was, indeed.
How do you square abortion with the 5th commandment?
The 5th commandment. That just depends on your definition of when life begins.
Second question is, what is the 5th commandment?
You shall not kill.
The 5th commandment, thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill.
Does that include the elderly?
It includes any innocent human life.
Legislation was passed here in Washington, D.C. to legalize euthanasia, the killing of the elderly. What is your opinion on euthanasia?
It's just as strong as my opinion against abortion. Life is life, no matter which end of the spectrum you're at.
I'm Catholic, and our stance is protecting life from conception until natural death. So.
But I do have the relative, in fact, that I took care of, who is completely checked out. His Alzheimer's is at the final stages. If the laws were such that those that love this man could peacefully send him on his way, that would be great.
There's talk that Planned Parenthood might be defunded. How do you feel about that?
Terrible, because they do not provide federal funds for any abortions. It's a big lie that the right wing has promoted.
There's talk that Planned Parenthood might be defunded of federal tax dollars. How would you feel about that?
Furious.
Not very good.
I'm terrified and horrified at the thought.
I would not like that a bit.
What would your reaction be if you heard that Planned Parenthood was defunded?
I'd be excited. I'd be happy. I mean, there's nothing greater than that.
Joy. I'd be happy.
I'd be glad.
I'd be elated, actually.
My name is Abby Johnson, and I ran a Planned Parenthood clinic for 8 years. I was an abortion clinic director, and ended up leaving in 2009, and have been speaking out ever since about the corruption inside the abortion industry, what's taking place, and have been standing up for the rights of children, but also the rights of these women, because women deserve better than anything they receive inside of an abortion clinic.
You're in a hostile environment. How's it going so far?
We've been here all day, and everything was fine, but now that there's sort of a group of us, clearly they're feeling threatened. I just got shoved into the street. It's sort of mayhem now.
I'm just angry about it. They shouldn't be here. This is for women's rights. This isn't for, going backwards in time.
No, they don't belong here. I mean, everyone has their choice.
I honestly think they are brainwashed. I don't think that they understand what it's like to be a woman. They obviously have misinformation or something wrong with them, honestly.
I'm just here to state my beliefs and be a voice as a woman who should be included in a women's march. But they're silencing us, which is completely the antithesis of what this march is supposed to be about.
My body, my choice! Her body, her choice!
Did you see any pro-life people here screaming or yelling obscenities at anybody?
No, I haven't. Everyone's been super positive, and we're just happy to be here and express our freedom of speech. And everyone's just excited to, voice our views and opinions about the issue at hand.